All right, welcome everybody to the Old Colony Metropolitan Planning Organization. I'm going to call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is call to order and just reading some announcements. So I'll turn it over to Charlie Kilmer to read the accessibility statement and Title VI non-discrimination statement, and then we'll get into introductions. So go ahead, Charlie.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This meeting is accessible to people with disability. Microphones or telephones will be used by all speakers. If you'd like these accommodations, please contact Murray Waldron at 508-583-1833. The notice of non-discrimination rights and protections to beneficiaries with regard to the federal Title VI non-discrimination protections and the state non-discrimination protections is included in this meeting's agenda and is also available on the Old Colony Planning Council website. And for those of you who haven't checked it out yet, we do have a new website, and there's the web address right there. It's oldcolonyplanning.org. And if you have any questions on these accommodation requests or notice of protections, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833 for more information. Thank you.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you, Charlie. I think with that, we can call the roll to see members who are present.
Sure. Brockton. Plymouth.
Present, Lee Hartman.
West Bridgewater.
Present, Mary Anderson.
Thank you. Whitman.
Dan Salvucci. Whitman.
MassDOT headquarters.
Yep, this is Derek Cravat here representing MassDOT Secretary and CEO Jamie Tessler.
MassDOT District 5. Brockton Area Transit.
Here.
And Old Colony Planning Council.
Mary Waldron representing Val Massard.
Great, thank you. I do see Sean Handy from the District 5 coming in. So I don't know if he's representing the district.
And Jay DeGrace from the mayor's office is coming as well.
Great, we have actually 100% attendance then, so welcome.
Great, sounds good. Thank you, Charlie. Next item on the agenda is public comments. Are there any members of the public present that would like to make a comment at this time? You can use the raise hand function or type anything in the chat. If you're on the phone, you can dial *9 to raise your hand, but seeing no public comments at this time, if you do have a comment during the meeting, feel free to type that in the chat and we'll call on you. The next item on the agenda, I believe, should be approval of the November 15th, 2022 meeting minutes. So I'll ask for a motion and second to approve these minutes as presented.
So moved. Second.
All right, motion having been made and seconded. Are there any comments or questions on the minutes? All right, seeing none, I think you can call the roll, Charlie.
Yes, Brockton.
Yes.
Thank you. Plymouth.
Lee Hartman, yes.
West Bridgewater.
Anderson, yes.
Whitman.
Dan Salvucci, yes.
MassDOT headquarters.
Derek Cravat, yes.
MassDOT District 5.
Yes.
Thank you. Brockton Area Transit.
Yes.
And Old Colony Planning Council.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Brockton Area Transit Report. Turn it over to Michael. Are you going to give the update?
Sure. Thank you, Chair.
Yep.
And happy holidays, everyone. We, as this group is aware, we've been offering free fares along with the other RTAs across the Commonwealth from Thanksgiving through New Year's. To date, that has resulted in about a 4% ridership increase over the first 3 weeks of Thanksgiving, which we're using as our baseline. That doesn't quite capture the overall impact, as typically we would see a drop in ridership during the holiday season with both sort of days off and people leaving town along with the onset of winter weather conditions. So we'll ultimately come up with some sort of measure that shows the impact there. OCPC staff and friends will be joining us to ride the buses at 9:15 on Thursday. So feel free to meet at the BAT Center for that. And we'll give a little introduction, and then people can take advantage of the free service to ride around town. We continue to add to our new expanded market basket stop at Westgate Mall. We have new shelters up there and putting in some planters and signage as well. We have launched our first endeavor with microtransit, and that's serving the town of Rockland. Right now, it's just a soft launch as we transition our customers over from the Flex fixed route that previously served Rockland onto microtransit. And then after the new year, we'll have vehicles wrapped and ready to do a full launch of that service. So stay tuned for that. We received additional funding from MassDOT through the Community Transit Grant Program to help support that program going forward, which we are very appreciative of. And finally, you'll be hearing a little later on about a TIP amendment that helped accelerate our construction and purchases for the Westgate Mall stop. Happy to take any questions if there are any.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Any questions for Mike? All right. Seeing none. Thank you. Great update. I guess the next item on the agenda is an update from MassDOT District 5. Sean, did you have an update to provide?
I believe the representative from District 5 will be providing this update.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's Rich
yeah, Sean.
Bilski.
Oh,
Yeah,
Richard.
I-
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be providing it. So
perfect. Okay,
Thank you.
go
Yeah.
ahead, Richard. Yep.
yeah, with the Stoughton Corridor Improvements Project on 138. The PS&E for that project is due this upcoming March. The Stoughton intersection improvements related work at Central Street, Canton Street to Tiscata Drive. The PS&E is due for this upcoming January for that project. The Duxbury Bridge Route 3 over Franklin Street project, which is design build. Letter of intents have gone out and they're due this December. And then the RFQ is to be mailed out shortly. Brockton intersection improvements at Center Street, Route 123 and Plymouth Street. There's a follow-up CRM for that project, and then the 75% plan should be received this upcoming July. Brockton intersection improvements and related work at Center Street, Route 123, Carey Street and Lyman. The 75% plans are due this upcoming January for that project. Brockton intersection improvements at Lyman Street, Grove, Summer Street, and the replacement of the Grove Street Bridge. We received the bridge type study for that project, and the 25% plans are due this upcoming January. Eastern Corridor improvements on Route 138, including the intersection improvements at 138 Washington and Elm Street. The 100% plans are due this upcoming April for that project. And then Avon intersection improvements at Route 28, Spring and Harrison Boulevard. That's at pre-25, and that's scheduled for February, this upcoming February. And then there's a Brockton intersection improvements at Crescent Street, Route 27, excuse me, Route 27, Quincy Street and Massasoit Boulevard. That's at 25% and awaiting additional input from the city. And that's everything at this point.
Great. Thank you, Richard. Any questions for Richard or the district? All right, seeing none, we can move on to the next agenda item, which is the adjustment 1 to the federal fiscal year 2023 to 2027 transportation improvement program. I think I'll hand it over to Bill. Is that right, to talk through this one?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Perfect.
So we do have a tip adjustment for the MPO's review and consideration today and potential approval. So if you just want to go to the next slide, Sean, I can talk. So you can see this is an adjustment to Brockton Area Transit project, a intermodal project. So you can see it on your screen there, broken into two different lines. So essentially what this is, the total project cost has increased from 100,000 to 127,000. So on the two lines on for this project on your screen. So the federal 5307 funds, essentially those are staying constant at $80,000. So that line is only is updated just to reflect the new total project cost. And then the next one, the state RTA cap funds, that total RTA cap funding is increasing from 20,000 to 47,000 to cover the new project cost. So you can see that that adjustment in that line. So it's fairly straightforward. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but if not, then we humbly, respectfully ask for the MPO's approval of this adjustment. This is adjustment. It does not require a release to a public comment period.
Great. Thank you, Bill. So before I open it up to questions, I'll just ask for a motion and second to endorse this adjustment to the transit tip as Bill presented.
So moved.
Second, Dan from Whitman.
All right, thank you. So with the motion you made and seconded, any questions for Bill or for the folks from BAT on this adjustment?
Dan Salvucci, I have a question.
Go
The
ahead.
adjustments, the increases due to material costs.
I believe so. I don't know I don't know the exact details on what the increase is for, but not, so I can't say with 100% certainty. Maybe preliminary.
Is he mic unmuted? Perhaps he has a.
Sorry, I have not heard any. Let me see what I did. Give me 1 second. We'll get back to me.
Mike, do you have a response to Dan's
Yeah, it
question?
was just to accelerate the project because the grant award was had a later start date, so this allowed us to get the project going
Okay.
before the cold weather set in.
So Kevin, right? So
Thank you.
All right, that would make sense. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I think you can go ahead and call the roll, Charlie.
Yes, Brockton, Jay DeGrace,
Yes.
Plymouth, Lee Hartman, West Bridgewater, Meredith Anderson.
Yes, for Lee, sorry. I didn't realize I was on mute.
Thank you, Lee. Whitman, Dan Salvucci,
I'm a yes, thank you.
MassDOT Headquarters, Derek Cravat,
Yes.
MassDOT District 5, Sean Handy.
I'm doing Rich Bilski. I'll be
Okay.
representing Administrator Gulliver. Yes, or aye.
Thank you, Richard. Brockton Area Transit, Michael Lambert,
Yes.
and Old Colony Planning Council, Mary Waldron.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you, everybody. Next on the agenda is the draft Old Colony Title VI reports. So I think I'm turning it over to Sean to present this one.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Hello, everyone. Going to be presenting on the Old Colony 2022 Title VI reports as a follow-up from last month's meeting, and also to review and potentially approve both of these reports. And so this will just be addressing the reports. So what is Title VI? It's a law within the 1964 Civil Rights Act that bars discrimination in federally assisted programs, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be otherwise subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal assistance on the grounds of race, color, or national origin, including limited English proficiency. So why do we have these reports? Well, as subrecipients of federal financial assistance via MassDOT, the Old Colony Planning Council and the Old Colony MPO are responsible for all civil rights compliance, ensuring that there are no discriminatory practices in carrying out our services, providing triennial and annual Title VI reports as needed, cataloging our policies, complaint procedures and forms, investigations, complaints and lawsuits as needed or as necessary, and also documenting our demographic analysis, updating our LEP, our limited English proficiency and language assistance plans, as well as our transportation investments with the TIP. So here's a look at the table of contents for the triennial report. It's pretty straightforward. This is, this section is the general requirements that anybody who provides a triennial report has to do. So, providing such items such as the Title VI assurances from the FTA and Federal Highway, providing an updated public participation plan, as well as an LEP and LEP plan, notifying the beneficiaries of protections, complaint procedures and forms, and other items such as inclusive public participation and providing meaningful access to LEP persons. And then specifically, since we are an MPO, we are also required to additionally add in a demographic profile of our metropolitan area, procedures of how the mobility needs of our minority populations are identified and considered, provide maps showing the impacts of funds, an analysis of the transportation system investments and address any disparate impacts, as well as procedures to ensure non-discriminatory practices. And then I have a few of the maps that are in both the triennial and the annual report. Here's a look at the median household income, and the census blocks that are in the orange is our environmental justice population. And then here is the environmental justice block groups and showing all of the transit services in our region, including commuter rail, BAT, and GATRA routes. And then here is the environmental justice block groups with the TIP projects, both with in terms of intersections as well as corridor length projects. And then so the current status, the LEP and LAP plan, which stands for Limited English Proficiency and Language Assistance Plan, has been completed. And the annual and the triennial reports, the drafts were completed. They went for a peer review phase, and they have been completed now. And we are now seeking approval of these reports by the MPO today. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Great.
No.
Sean, any questions for Sean? All right, seeing none, I think then, so these are two separate plans. Are you looking for kind of one motion to endorse the Title VI report, or kind of two to endorse both the LEP and LAP and the Title VI?
Just the Title VI reports.
just
The
the Title
LEP, the LEP and LEP plan does not require
Gotcha.
MPO endorsement.
Okay, perfect. Just
I
want to make sure.
I
Oh,
make
yeah.
a motion that we accept the report.
And I will second that motion, Dan from Whitman.
All right, perfect. I'll just open it up one more time, see if anyone has any questions or comments.
Derek,
One
not,
co-
yeah.
go ahead.
Sure.
I was just
My
gonna-
comment was that what an outstanding report he just gave. I mean, he presented it. I was amazed. I'm listening to him. And it was an outstanding report.
Thank you, Dan.
Yes. It was good. I mean, very complete and understandable. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now,
and
okay,
that's all-
Mary, go
and
ahead.
That's all that I was gonna say. Being here at the office and seeing the hard work that went into this report, and, Sean working with Charlie and the other stakeholders, that, Sean, an exceptional job. So thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, no, great job.
I
Yeah,
would
go
just
ahead,
note
Joy.
it's two separate reports. There's a MassDOT annual report, and then there's a triennial report as well.
Are those separate votes then, Charlie?
It may be preferred to have two separate votes, one on each.
So I
Just-
will withdraw my motion just because didn't refer to one. I will make a motion that we accept the annual Title VI report.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Sounds good. So for the annual Title VI report motion being made and seconded, I'll just ask one more time. Any questions on that one? Anything else? Okay, so Charlie, go ahead and call a roll to endorse the annual Title VI report.
Brockton J. DeGrasse,
Yes.
Plymouth Lee Hartman,
Yes.
West Bridgewater Mary Anderson,
Yes.
Whitman Dan Salvucci,
Yes,
MassDOT Headquarters Derek Cravath,
Yes.
MassDOT District 5 Richard Bilski,
Yes.
Brockton Area Transit Mike Lambert,
Yes.
and Old Colony Planning Council Mary Waldron.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everybody. I'll now ask for a separate motion to endorse the triennial Title VI report.
So
I'll
moved.
make that motion, Dan Salvucci. Good.
Then I'll second.
Okay, perfect. All right, motion having been made and seconded. Any questions on the triennial report? All right, seeing none, go ahead and call the roll for this one, Charlie.
Brockton J. DeGrasse,
Yes.
Plymouth Lee Hartman,
Yes.
West Bridgewater Mary Anderson,
Yes.
Whitman Dan Salvucci,
Yes,
MassDOT Headquarters Derek Cravath,
Yes.
MassDOT District 5 Richard Bilski,
Yes.
Brockton Area Transit Michael Lambert,
Yes.
and Old Colony Planning Council Mary Waldron.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everybody, and great work again.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the development of the 2050 Old Colony Long Range Transportation Plan. There's an update and status report. So I'll turn it over to Bill to present on this one.
Thank you, Derek. So just have a few updates to give you an idea where things stand with the LRTP development. So on your screen there, you see the first bold emboldened bolded paragraph there, the socioeconomic projections. So that work continues, collaborating with MassDOT, CTPS, UMass Donahue Institute, and the different MPOs of the state, meeting monthly to develop the population, housing, and economic forecasts for the region going through 2050, and that will that all gets built into the transportation demand model. Let me go on to the next one, next page. The pavement survey analysis, so that this is a continuing effort. Staff are going out and surveying pavement conditions on the federal aid eligible highway network. And this in turn helps us perform analysis and come up with a conditions index and help determine the needs of the region going forward to bring to maintain the system in a state of good repair. You can see the goals of the plan. I've previously gone through these in previous meetings, but those continue to be kind of out there for review and still in refinement, I should say. Next page. The planning scenarios. So again, this was a requirement that was given to MPOs the last go around when we developed the LRTP. So this time around, we're collaborating with the state. Our planning scenarios kind of mirror the statewide planning scenarios in their statewide plan. And you can see those various scenarios listed there, and those are presented in the plan. And these are all scenarios that could determine how the region grows and develops and how people move around it through 2050, depending on how things go within these scenarios. Development schedule. So next page. Again, we're on track for a draft plan this spring and an ultimate endorsement by this board likely at their June meeting, so roughly 6 months from now, if my math is correct. Yeah, we have a robust public engagement plan, as you might imagine. So we're developing a survey. We have developed a survey that's going to be launched very soon. And a series of public meetings, webinars, stakeholder engagement, direct stakeholder engagement. So not relying on them coming to various meetings, but actually going to them and meeting with them. So it's a robust plan, and hopefully it's going to lead to not hopefully, it will lead to a much better product for everyone. So next page. And so the public survey, like I said, that's about to be launched, and we're also working with MassDOT on collaborating with a mobility focused focus group that will be held in January. We've been trying to schedule this to collaborative effort with us, Old Colony Planning Council, MassDOT, and Brockton Area Transit. We're hoping to do it in December. That's proven difficult with vacations and holidays and whatnot. So it'll be held in January, and we're looking forward to that effort. And we thank you. We thank MassDOT for all the work that they've put into this, as well as Brockton Area Transit for their eagerness to participate with us and work with us on this. And next page. Okay, so that's it. That's the update for now. Finn, I know I went kind of glossed over a lot of things there. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them right now. If not, you can always reach out to me directly. My contact information is there in the staff report.
Great, thank you, Bill. Great to see the update. Any questions for Bill? All right.
Thank you.
Seeing none. Yeah, thank you, Bill. Next item on the agenda is administrative matters, other business, and next meeting. So see, there's an item on there for culvert connection. So Charlie, did you want to give a summary of this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So we have an announcement here. The Mass Department of Fish and Game is seeking proposals from municipalities on replacing undersized perched or degraded culverts, and this is an opportunity coming up. Individual awards range from $25,000 to $400,000. Next slide, please. And here you can see a timeline on the procurement calendar. Application deadline is anticipated in mid-March 2023. Next slide. And then we have an opportunity here for communities. MassDOT, in partnership with Safe Routes to School, is offering a no-cost equipment, speed feedback, and school zone speed limit signs. All that we ask is it's coordinate with MassDOT. The requirement here is the municipalities will be required to do the installation themselves, but certainly this is a great opportunity being offered by MassDOT to raise awareness on speeds in school zones. Applications are due by January 16th, 2023. Next slide. Next slide. And as Bill mentioned, next 6 months is going to be busy, and for the MPOs, save the date, we have a menu of upcoming meeting dates. As you know, the MPO meets on the third Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. And the MPO will be busy, as you can see here, with meetings monthly from January through likely July. We'll have the normal 3C document preparation, such as the Transportation Improvement Program and the Unified Planning Work Program. But as Bill spoke to earlier, we're also developing the long-range plan. So that's going to be an action item for MPO review and approval later in 2023. And to further add to our busy schedule, we'll be undergoing a federal transportation planning certification review over the next couple of months, and probably concluding with an on-site visit over this coming summer. So certainly a lot of things happening in the next couple of months. So we ask the signatories to respectfully save these dates and times for upcoming meetings.
Thank you, Charlie. Any questions for Charlie? All right. Seeing none, I just put the link to that application for the school zone speed feedback signage program into the chat. So if folks are interested, definitely encourage everyone to check that out. As Charlie mentioned, thank you for plugging that. All right, any other business that folks have before we adjourn? All right, seeing none, I will, I think we call the roll, right, Charlie, to adjourn? So, or do
Sure.
we?
Yeah,
Okay.
might as well.
Okay, all right, I'll ask for a motion and second to adjourn.
I'll
So
motion Dan Salvucci.
I'll second Mary Anderson, West Bridgewater.
All right, any comments or objections, questions? All right, seeing none, I think you can call the roll, Charlie.
Sure. Brockton J. DeGrasse,
Yes.
Plymouth Lee Hartman,
Yes.
West Bridgewater Mary Anderson,
Yes.
Whitman Dan Salvucci,
Yes,
MassDOT Headquarters Derek Cravat,
Yes.
MassDOT District 5 Richard Bilski,
Yes.
Brockton Area Transit Michael Lambert,
Yes.
and Old Colony Planning Council Mary Waldron.
Happy holidays, everybody. Yes.
Great. Thank you. Motion
right.
passes.
yeah, my
Perfect,
cat
yeah,
says goodbye.
thank you, everyone.
Glad I didn't have my picture on it. My cat. been up here.
Well, have a
Happy
great
holidays,
holiday, everybody.
everybody.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
too.
Holidays.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Great job,
Bye.
Steph.
Thank you.